up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. And speaking of those buds, we fucking love you, buds. Thank you so much. We've been getting awesome, all kinds of like encouraging stuff. I shouted out Lord of Lost Time's freaking awesome recap of Vivica Seafox. You can catch that on the YouTube. He posts like recaps of the previous session in the comments just about every single week. The one that he wrote that really touched my heart, again, expanding on some lore from the world. He wrote this really amazing story of how Vivica Seafox came to the point at which she met Sarah and the whole dating game. It was fucking awesome. So thanks to all the buds, man. We're popping all over the place. Discord, Twitter. We've got over 2,000 members on our Facebook WeeDnD Hub community there. If you're not there, go join over there. What I love about these communities, guys, is it rocks the virtues of these shows, and that is positivity and creation, self-acceptance, and love. So it's so nice to see that exist in multiple places on what can usually be a pretty harsh and brutal location, and these little pockets of love that this show has helped plant the seed of, but you fine buds have watered. It means the world to me. So thank you guys so much. We are coming up here on some pretty big stuff. Our next game will be in 3 weeks. We will be dark for the next 2 weeks while I'm on a gig up in New York, which is pretty exciting and awesome, but I'll be playing Tybalt and the nurse in Romeo and Juliet with a group called Shotspire. So you may have seen me wearing the shirt sometimes. But yeah, we'll be up there doing that thing. Unfortunately, I'll be in a hotel room with shoddy internet, and I don't want to risk bringing you a crappy show for, and that's the other announcement, our finale of Chapter 1. So our next sesh will be Tuesday, the 4th of October. And that, guys, we are going to bring the resolution to Chapter 1, moving forward into the next session of this story, which will explore the lands of the Kush kingdoms. Worry not, these stories shall all thread together in hopefully what is to be a very exciting way. For those of you that weren't with us from the beginning, Chapter 0, the 76 or 72 sessions of that first season, our Season 0 campaign, is the prelude to this world where you're going to watch the Ferocious Five and their epic journey that led to the birth of the world of Ganjaria. And then we jumped into Ganjaria for this Chapter 1, and we will continue exploring the world itself through the following chapters. So next, the 10-4 will be kind of a longer sesh. Look, guys, you guys do so much for the show. I try to thank you from the core of my heart in every way that I can as often as possible. I am pleading and requesting with you all to give us one big final push with that 2 weeks dark. I want to come into that finale with it hot. So please, just in whatever way you feel comfortable. I know it's a weed show, so some of you guys don't want to share stuff on medias. That's totally fine. But wherever you feel comfortable, if you have friends you think might dig this show, if there's anybody you think might dig what we're putting down, we're trying to point them all toward 10-4. We want to blow this thing out big, with the goal of coming back for Chapter 2 with this cast in studio. So the studio I'm sitting in now, Art Hard Studios, producer of the show, and this little thing that is hopefully the seed of so much more to come. So, buds, you do so much for us. Let's just keep pushing on through that finish line. Again, we'll be dark the next 2 weeks. You can catch all of Season 1 if you've missed anything here, or Season 0 over on the YouTube, youtube.com/Art Hard Studios. As well as we will be streaming the reruns of Season 1 until that time. So it'll be up at all different kinds of the hours. If you ever see us up and you just want to throw us a little love, hop in. It'll be bots running the commands and everything while we're gone. But just to let other people in different time areas that haven't had a chance to run into our show catch us, and if they like what we're putting down, join us for this big party finale on 10-4. That is it for me, guys. Seriously, I just want to say again, from the bottom of my heart, thanks for everything you do for this production. This little piece of magic has meant the world to us as creators, and you guys, having you as a community to bounce this back and forth with has just been a hell of a couple years, So really excited to step into this new chapter of this journey, but quite frankly, we got a hell of a chapter to wrap up first. In order to do that, I got to pass this joint here through through the magical fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great, Bam, and I'm going to be doing better here in just a moment. Brenna Folger here, pickles on weed. Sava. Sava? Sava. And my favorite PlayStation 1 game is Metal Gear Solid. Abby, what's yours? Bang.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I'm just going to say Spyro since I'm playing Spyro right now. So it's a lot of fun.
Good answer.
Shout out Tom Kenny. Love hearing SpongeBob and Patrick in my ears. all of the characters. Iconic. I'm Abby Dandy, better known as Amaryllis VonCheux around these parts, and I'm ready to get into it. Oh my gosh, there's so much craziness happening. Here you go, Drewby.
Oh my. Thank you. What up, y'all? Drew, Digby Mo-legging to the thud. Yeah. Anyway, my favorite PlayStation game. I'm gonna steal it, guys.
Don't you dare.
Fantasy 7. Come on. That was my 96.
You would take Final Fantasy 7 from me?
Drew, 96 is the year I was born.
Gary, don't worry. Gary's not getting killed today.
Digby is. Oh no.
Everybody raise your hand if you're getting killed today. Not so fast. No.
It's probably me now since
You think I'm not going to say it?
You're still gonna say it. I mean, it is the best game for PlayStation. I just had to say it. So there's that. I love you guys so much. I'm so excited. Sad to see things wrap up, but excited to see what fucking weird shit we bring to the table. Love you, buds. Best friend, passing this down to you there, bud.
Oh, thank you, my friend, and good luck. Good luck. I'll keep vibes on you. But yes, Jake Taylor here as Gary Greenheart, level 4 Paladin, and a Green Knight of Tina Smooth Hands. And, tough question, Brenna, because PlayStation 1 was my first, console when I started getting into video games, so I've got so many, and I'm shitty at picking favorites, but I gotta give a shout out to Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. That game changed the way, storytelling in video games.
Yes.
That has stuck with me, and it's just sometimes you just want to suck soul, and just the design, the story, the voice acting.
The voice acting.
Woo. So yeah, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. I gotta give that a little kiss.
Yes.
You know, I want to give a little kiss to this bearded beauty up here. What's going on, Gus?
Oh, thank you very much, Jake. Well, he's right. My name is Gus, and I do have a beard. So far so good, Jake. Yeah, so today I'll be playing Dickens Tangleface, the Clownkin Cleric, Twilight Cleric of Glorp.
Yes!
Yes! Okay! And I gotta be honest, and this is gonna lose me a lot of points with people. I'm not a video game person.
Get out!
I love you, guys.
No, that's fine.
I mean, I was probably playing GoldenEye this whole time. Like the entire experience
I wouldn't even be mad at you.
We're talking about, I was probably still playing GoldenEye. So
That's fine, Gus. We were indoors playing video games, and you were getting laid. Eh?
I was back home baiting, bro. You're out there having the time of your life. Is that how you got that beard? Man, maybe I should stop playing video games.
That's an indication.
Yeah.
all right, so yeah, that's my shame, and I'll send things back over to Bam.
Yeah, from 2 to 1, my friend. Welcome back. All right, well, my favorite game for PlayStation is actually Final Fantasy VII. Unlike Drew, who just wants to copy me and thinks he's, dang it, I bet, no, he does. You know why he does? Because it should be. Final Fantasy VII, I'm a huge RPG nerd. The 32-bit, 16-bit generation of RPG gaming is my favorite. I'm literally playing Breath of Fire right now. But Final Fantasy has always been my favorite game. And I may have mentioned this before, but Final Fantasy VII changed me as a human being. It introduced me to Eastern philosophy, reincarnation, I cried when Ares died and had a real change in who I was as a man, realizing that it was okay to cry over an experience that you have with art. Legitimately, I speak of this game with such a level of reverence. There is no singular piece of media, movie, song, or beyond that affected my life as positively as Final Fantasy VII did. And I know it's kind of ridiculous, but it was just the way that so many things got to me. Classical music, character-driven stories, and when you go back and play it now, you can see how much of that you did. It's to us now, it looks like an old geometric game. I cannot truly explain to you the experience. I've been in games my whole life. There was never one experience more jump technology-wise than when I had just beaten Final Fantasy 5 or 3, American 3, Japanese 6. for the 500th time. And I went to my brother's house and I walked in and he had a PlayStation and he was doing the car chase scene in Final Fantasy VII. And just the jump from technology from 2D flat, turn-based RPG gaming to what the visuals of Final Fantasy VII, it broke my brain for a little bit. So yes, Final Fantasy VII, obviously I agree with you, Drew. I was just being snide for comedic effect. Honestly, it should be all of our answers and I'm more ashamed than everybody else.
Me too.
I'm kidding. But
especially Abby, for being born the same year that game came out.
That's it.
Yeah, I was busy playing Secret Agent Barbie around this time.
I'm still recovering from finding out that that's the year you were born. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool. I was at the Olympics that year.
Yeah, I was born the year the Olympics were bombed.
I didn't see Abby not at the Olympics.
I was not in the same time, same place. Who knows?
They're still
My
searching.
sister was there, and it was so long ago. We had to wait 14 hours to get a call on a payphone that everything was okay.
Payphone.
That was a million years ago.
They just got rid of the last payphone, didn't they? I think they're all gone now.
Did they?
Jeff
Oh my
Bezos
gosh.
Yeah, it's class warfare. They're just like, hey guys who can't afford cell phones, you're completely gone now. Anyway, I'm digressing, guys. Play Final Fantasy VII if you haven't. I still, because a lot of people ask, I haven't played the remake because I'm so emotionally invested with it. I promised I would stream it. I'll put a cry counter on screen. When I played the demo, I cried in the first 45 seconds. I was in the Mako reactor and just how detailed everything was. I was like, I'm in the Mako reactor right now. It was just, I will be a mess through that game. I have not been able to commit to it the way that I have it downloaded. And I bought it almost immediately. I still have not touched it because I've wanted to focus on this project. But maybe perhaps in our downtime, I'll start my Final Fantasy VII remake stream. But guys, this is what happens when you're around these lovely people. You just can't stop smiling. I do love playing D&D with these guys. We love having you guys around. It's just what a fucking joy this world is. So if you will please join me in a little ritual that we have around here. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you haven't. We like to take a lighter, like this sky blue. Nope, you know what I'm trading. It's like this electric green one, like the one we have in chat. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Light us up. That was a crisp one. What do you say we play some fucking D&D?
Well,
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Oh, man, the intro. Guys, the intro was an addition here in our newest season, and I gotta say, it just gets me lit and just running every single time. One last matter of business that I forgot. This pre-roll was actually gifted through the ranks of Deep Roots Harvest, which is up for best cannabis dispensary here in Las Vegas. If you're one of our Vegas buds, go throw a little vote for them for helping out the show, man. They're a great dispensary here in town, and I'm currently about to get really high from their stuff, so that's tight. So what do you guys say that I set the mood?
Oh my god, I felt it in my butt.
I'll allow it.
When last we left the helping committee, they returned to the realm of Sativon and arrived in Gate Shadow on the day of the opening festival. After a touching moment of motherly affection served to counter the wear of Chrysintheus' trials, our heroes pressed forward to try and stifle the dark forces at play. Once embraced by the bustling festival preparations and staring down the many daunting threats that loomed nearby, THC found it best to gear up the many vendors with their newfound coin. And what better stop on a prep shop than the most respected ganja tender in the land, the fairy known as Datman. As the joyful energy spilled from the group, Dickens witnessed his brother, the Grey Jester Slapsix, seemingly feeding on the effervescent energy from a broken wizard's tower on an island in the waters nearby, and then disappearing after billowing out an exhale of blight. Amaryllis then spotted the kidnapped Cedric Inglemonder standing near a shop with Alonzo Quinfowler and shot into action, bagging Cedric in Dickens' pants and hiding as the wood elf master huntress Alonza loomed nearby. All right, guys, what do you say we jump back And you're all standing, currently the group is separated at this festival in the current moment. Dickens, Digby, and Gary, you're all standing near some of the Path of Commerce shops. All around you, the bustling preparations for the opening festival, the big ceremony that occurs but once a year, where the black iron gates of Sativan are opened to deliver the wealth and abundance of food to the rest of the world. It's other than that, the gate never opens, and as far as you all know, no one is allowed back in once you have left the black iron gates. That is such so that the virginal innocence of Sativan is maintained. Around you, a bustling presence of almost the entire country as people flood in from all corners of Sativan. You know, you see ships and water goods, people selling fish over by where the Path of the Sea, you know, where Vivica Sea Fox is supposedly hanging out, over by the Guard Wizard Tower. There's representatives of the Path of the Heart, small churches and roadside huts that people are getting blessings from the God of the Road and all the like. The Path of Commerce peddling their wares. The Path of the Hunt, you know, who Alonzo Quinfellow is a representative of, setting up, you know, teaching skinning demonstrations, sharpening knives, shooting arrows. The Path of the Abstract, you know, all kind of off in their own little area doing all kinds of weird things and no one really quite knows why. But it looks like they're having a great time. They are farther south of the rest of the festival. But currently, you know, it's a beautiful, sunny Sativan day, you know, the likes of which are so familiar in your bones. The moist, you know, life-giving soil of the earth, you know, hugs your feet as you step upon it. The sweet smell of grasses and natural flora and fauna, you know, the cry of beautiful birds of paradise flying all through the sky. You know, it seems like even the animals of Sativan are gathering for this celebration like a Disney movie. You know, you just see like families of little rabbits running by the shore, and it's like even they understand, you know, the significance of this as the entire, you know, from north to south, east to west begins coming to gather for the festival. Now, the ceremony itself is probably in about 4 hours, the beginning of the ceremony. The ceremony runs for about 8 hours, and then when the sun sets, the gates, as the sun sets, the gates will open, and that's when the offering to the green flame of the Green Lady, all that, when everybody starts bringing their offerings. And so that's kind of the timeline that you guys are looking at. We did, just to kind of cut through the chaff a little bit and give you the good wheat. The good WeeDnD. We've kind of currently, you know, Amaryllis, you are laying, you know, your back is kind of like on the cold, grassy mud nearest the wall-shade briars, as you're kind of like, you've got Cedric bagged inside Dickens's cartoon physics pants. Just like in a cartoon, you see his fist. You know, he's like, his little shoe will kick out, his fist will kick. It's like he's trying to get out of the bag, but you've got him, you know, he's like holding a bag of cats. You know, and you are hiding from Alonzo Quinfellow, you know, the master huntress of the Path of the Hunt, you know, wood elf, long, what was it, Brornish? Or brown, what was the Brorn? What was the color we could? Brorange. Her brorange hair, you know, wild and cascading down her tan wood elven skin, you know, her tiara of thickets that she wears on her head, you know, adept at hunting in forests particularly. You know, she's got the look of quite a hunter. And you know, far and wide, Alonzo is well respected as the best hunter in the realm of Sativan. And so, you know, she currently is sitting, she's got her foot on a cart. You know, she noticed that Cedric was missing, but she did not, because of your high stealth roll, did not perceive what occurred. But however, you see her sharp elvish ears, you know, point up as she's listening around for any signs. You know, Amaryllis, you can't help but notice the muffled sound of the fists and feet trying to get out, but you also hear the rolling wheels of carriages, and you know, there's a cacophony of noise right now. Again, you bet she'd probably rather be in a forest, but so she's trying to do it, and you see she begins smelling, and she's starting to smell her quarry. You know, Pickles, you had gone with Amaryllis, so you see that she stops, like, looking around, and she kind of walks back over to where you saw Amaryllis bag Cedric, and she's like sniffing the ground.
Cool. Can I, like, blow, because, like, I have a cigarette, can I blow, like, the smoke kind of at her to kind of, like, fuck with her smell a little bit more? And I want to do the thing where, you know, when you, like, tap somebody on the shoulder, but you show up on the other.
Yes.
I'd like to do that.
Okay. Okay, so do you want, all right, so so you're going to distract her smell and then go up and tap her other shoulder. Is that the plan?
Yes, that's what I would like to do, but I don't know if I have to, like,
Give me a stealth check to see how cool you pull off your. And she's gonna have disadvantage on her perception to see you, because of the cigarette smoke. So you see, you're little, so you just like blow some cigarette smoke around one of these boxes that's nearby. There's like a couple goods in it. Somebody's getting ready to unload it to add it to a vendor for sales. But you're just sitting there, you kind of blow it around the box. Oh, 25 on that stealth.
25.
Nice. All right. She is extremely perceptive, I will say, but she has disadvantage since she rolled a 3.
Yeah, so I want to.
All right, so Pickles, I'll give you this opportunity. You see Amaryllis, you kind of see what you like look over and you see she's crouched on the ground, and then you see Pickles kind of like blows a little smoke, kind of clearing away for you potentially. You see Pickles blows the smoke, and Alonzo's just at first, her fine trained smell. She smells like a bloodhound, but the pungent aroma of this burning tobacco from these strange cigarettes that Pickles on We always has, starts filling her nose. And you see and she sneezes and actually blows some of the dust from the tracks that are in front of her. And so you see the footprints kind of fade a little bit. And so you've managed to distract her in this moment. Pickles, your high stealth, you get to the other side of her. You are totally hidden right now. Do you want to go for the tap?
First I'm gonna give Amaryllis a look of like, if you're gonna go now.
And then I dart off to the boys.
Dope.
Cool. And then, I want to give her a little tap-a-rooney, a little pop on her.
All right, you tap her on the shoulder. She looks one way and you're not there. And then just to add like one more coolness to it, she looks the other way and you're not there either. And then she like looks forward and you're just standing right in front of her, like looking up at. So you see Alonzo, she's got this curved sheath elvish blade at her side. It's finally sharpened. Her sharpening skills are amongst the, it's notoriety throughout the realm. You see she stands, and her body, she's in extremely good shape. You can tell this woman runs miles, every day. And as somebody who also fights with your dexterity, it is something you can appreciate in this moment. She stands in front of you and she locks down on you with those heavy amber colored eyes that she has, the tan skin and pointed ears. She looks down at you and she's like, I knew something was funny about this day. Do you have the seed?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Alonzo. I am going to tell you that it has been the longest 24 hours, and less than that even, of my entire fucking life. And I have a lot of shit to talk to you about.
Let me tell you, Cuddle Forged, the length of your life is nothing in the grains of sand that fall through the elven hourglass. No matter how torturous your 24 hours have been, I assure you, these last 500 years have been murder for the elves. Do you have the seed?
I'm going to respond to that with a question. Do you know who Cassinthius is?
You see her furrowed eyebrow. Go ahead and give me an insight check, Pickles. You see she furrows her eyebrow for a moment as if she's searching for the name.
I got a seed!
And you see she looks at you. She says, I know many men by many names. Why do you skirt the subject? Have you lost the seed?
I did not lose the seed. The seed was sent away.
You see, she sits back. Her face kind of goes pale for a moment. Like you can see this is a huge strike to her confidence in this moment. She looks back over at where Cedric was. She looks at you and she goes, and then you kind of see just like coming out from all around you are these other like wood elf hunters. You saw that it was like the group of them that was with her in the woods. And it's almost as if there was like 10 of them around already. Like what you were when you were stealthing, and it's like they're always kind of around her. And you see them start kind of standing out and they're all going, no, I'm kidding. They're all punching there. Oh, Pickles. No, but you see she whistles and she says, oh, Cuddle Forged, we have much to discuss. we shift over. Currently, while this is all going on, you guys, we join this little path of commerce area. There's vendors of many types all around. There's hair folk, and you see the many different races. Even fairy vendors and little goblins and gnomes and halflings. All many races call Sativon their home. And there is these like portals to the Feywild in places. So there's some Fey population here. That's why you'll see more fairies and little red caps and things like that. So you see all the different vendors, and we had kind of discussed like what you guys were going to do with your coin, but there was a few that I felt were of like specific import. So that's this. While this has all been going on, Amaryllis, you just left with the pants of Dickens. Dickens, you're standing there, your clown white legs just shining in the sun as you hand the
like
plates.
An alabaster Winnie the Pooh.
So I will say we Gus and I we worked this out. He had the ingenious idea of taking these ceramic pieces that he had received from his mother in the void and creating plate mail, but not plate like metal plates, but like plate like ceramic plates. And so we homebrewed plate mail. It's 1 AC less, so it's a 17 AC. It's not as powerful as full plate, so it's just like it does give the disadvantage on stealth checks.
Yeah, because it sounds like dishes.
So wherever Dickens goes now, you hear the clanking of ceramic dishes.
When you walk, you also now can make clangly sounds.
Yeah, good luck stealthing.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it sounds like somebody threw a bunch of dog toys and a bunch of dishes into the dryer.
Yeah. We are so very different, and yet I love you so much.
And they'll still not see me coming. Oh, shit, sorry.
And so Dickens, you're handing over the ceramic pieces, save one, the shard piece that you wanted to use to put into this gun that you would use, your new holy symbol by which you would shoot holy energy from. And what better to assist you with this task than Digby Mole Eggington, the tinkerer and artificer artillerist. Digby, go ahead and give me your tinker's tools check. Because if you do good enough, if over a 20 DC, there might be an additional boon.
So Digby, where I'm at is like, I have a hard time focusing and I'm getting all these new abilities. And I thought having something cool like your gun to focus on would help me like concentrate on important stuff sometimes and look fucking cool. Like I'm a dig boy, and I pull open my shirt and I have like a little dig boy tattoo.
I kind of say I love how much Dickens loves Digby.
It's like, when did you get that? I don't know.
I've been.
All right, so with a 7 Digby, we don't augment any additional, but you were able to execute creating this gun. Now, you didn't add the firing mechanism. It sounds as if he wishes to use it and to augment his own magical energies through. So it's your holy symbol for effective casting your spells, Dickens, which you would use one-handed, which would ostensibly free you up to use your shield more. And you see Digby takes the shard and starts working it into the handle. But
it's basically like a wand shaped like a gun. Like it doesn't fire in someone else's hands. It would just be a toy.
Totally. So you see that's going on. Gary has handed some coin. Digby, was there anything? I'm sorry. Was there anything you wanted to buy from like the vendors?
I didn't think so.
Oh, Digby.
Yo, Digby, maybe you can help me with this. I would love to, in addition to being able to the spells that I can cast, if you could help me rig up a cartridge to shoot a healing potion at someone, that would be sick.
Dope.
Okay.
I started on it right away.
So I'll say this. Because of the way that our bonus action healing potions work, that's a pretty powerful effect. That doesn't mean it's impossible. I would say, however, we had discussed going into a skill challenge of sorts for using this environment to your advantage. If either one of you would want to use that moment to do this, to allow Digby the chance to do that, to create like a way to shoot healing potions at a distance, like it would be like 60 feet is what most pistols are. If you want to use one of those skill opportunities for that, I would say that that's possible.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, so.
And I'm like kind of just fucking off, but like I accidentally said something that made Digby be like,
exactly. And his Brian, it's something Digby, there's all these new synapses in your brain as you've like learned all this new, and you're such a sharp mind that it's like you never would have thought of, yes, if I just extend, or it's like rather than putting it in the barrel, because I don't like just the image of that, it's basically a little catapult that you like add to the gun. So when you pull the trigger, it also launches this little catapult. So we can do that during the skill challenge, but that's how we'll go about doing that. So Digby, you have your little Eureka, and you start looking around at maybe a workshop that might serve your needs right now. Which brings us to Gary. As the last interlude, he's handing you over your new splint mail that you purchased from him. And you see that laying there, the armor that you have has that little like flower in the handle on it. But as you find when you take it off of your body, it fades away. And almost as Dickens's tattoo, you feel like this like small warm light on your chest. And when you take off your armor, on your chest becomes emblazoned the hand with the rose in it. And so you find it was not the armor that was imbued with the calling of the Green Knight, but you yourself. And it shows itself in what you wear. So you don't have to worry about losing the cool character-looking armor to upgrade your equipment.
No, that's real nifty. Don't you know? And I'm admiring this, but I'm also noticing within the last day all of these scars I've accrued. And boy, our bodies all tell stories, and this one's got some exciting chapters so far.
Craziest night ever.
Great. I love my friends.
Chapter 1, the no good, very bad night.
Oh, but that's wicked cool. So because I was kind of worried about that. I felt blessed by the Green Lady when she bestowed the flower and it interwove with the armor, but
yeah,
she's always right there.
Yeah,
that's smooth.
A Green Knight of the Green Lady, so smooth. All right, so Gary, you're having this kind of moment. You see the shopkeep that sold you the split mail is just like, his like jaw hits the ground, and he's like, "Oh my goodness!" And you like he was like really excited to buy your old armor, and then like all the cool accoutrements go away, and he's like, "Oh!" And then he looks at you and he's like, "Oh!" And he's all excited about your armor now, now emblazoned with the emblem of the Green Lady as the roots, almost come to life a little bit and start, growing around your armor plates. As you're sitting there, you're like standing there, you see the shopkeep's just like staring at you. Oh my. You hear like a familiar song, this voice kind of coming from the bridge behind you from the Wallshade Briars area. And you just hear, "Oh, what a fine day it is today." You kind of turn over your shoulder and you see walking over the wooden bridge with a lady on either arm is the swole pugilist, Erden Meyer.
All right.
Yes, one of the suitors. That failed in the dating game, but someone I personally loved, and I'm just thrilled to have back. But Erden Meyer, the eternal optimist, cleric of the road, you see walking down, and it's like just as beautiful as the day is. It's shining from his eyes. He's big and built. He's like a warrior, or like a monk cleric is basically like the idea of him. He wears very little armor, but what he does wear is like very decorative and colorful, gold and white. It kind of looks a little like Roman in the way that he's dressed. Kind of a toga, that shows his like big athletic quads and tan skin. He's got these like golden eyes. If you remember, his eyes are like the color gold, and he's just strolling down the bridge. He's like twirling one girl. She's like doing a little spin under one arm. They're all laughing. You see it's like a group of like 10 people that have like wandered with him, and it looks like he's like the host of this great little wandering party. And everybody's laughing, and he's like, the sun is beautiful on this day. What a wonderful festival is sure to be had. It's good to be alive, wouldn't you say? And he looks over, and his golden eyes lock with you, Gary.
I say yay, looks like the party's back.
And it appears the Green Lady shines her light on us all, friend. And he walks over and he gives you the best hug you've ever had. He's just like, you feel like his big muscular chest just presses into your soft spots, and he squeezes you tight. And then you see he pushes you away, but he keeps his hands on your shoulders. You're little and he's pretty big. And so he's like, "Look at you, the bodyguard in the dating game. I gotta say, little man, I was pretty intimidated by your manly presence. No doubt the son of the Green Heart Farms would provide such a stalwart warrior to protect the people of Ashbury. And he reaches his hand out.
That means a lot coming from you there, buddy. Sorry, the whole suitor game didn't work out, but looks like you're doing just fine. And I gotta test this guy's predator shake.
Yeah. All of you around, Amaryllis, you're getting ready to run. Pickles, you're blowing cigarettes and talking to, Digby, you're sitting there like tweaking, working on this gun. Dickens, Dickens, you've got this like ceramic armor you're trying to figure out how you're going to move in. It's a little more clowny for you to be comfortable. And then you just hear this as the greatest predator arm shake happens. It's almost like beaming lights of golden sun emanate when you do it. And he looks down at him, and it's like the wind blows his hair back just a little bit, and it's like he's in his element. He's a priest of the road. His god is literally the roads themselves, and so he's met with you and basks in the light of the green lady that follows you around on this beautiful day. But you feel the greatest predator handshake you've ever had.
Well said, well described. I'm almost just kind of. At this point, I'm so baffled. I just kind of want to I can just only respond with. There's a word for it, but when you kind of want to be like playful with someone, you just want to mess around with them.
Well,
I feel like it's a name. There's a name for it.
Yeah, like the first name for it.
Yeah, first name. Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh, is this the first of season 1? Oh my gosh. For the new fans of the show.
Oh my gosh, it's time to Josh.
Oh my gosh, we're declaring a state of Josh. All right, guys, we're joshing. It's time to josh. This is our first josh check.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
smoke first Josh of the season.
Yeah, this is to the first josh of the season. So you attempt a state of Josh, well known in the Ferocious Five, and you kind of start palling around with him a little bit. You're not as socially adept as he is. You've spent much time by yourself or farming, and so it's like you're not as socially adept as he is, and so you're like kind of like give me just a raw charisma check.
You raw Josh?
Raw Joshin.
He's raw Josh.
Well.
All right. You kind of start, joshing around with him. You give him a little punch on his arm, and he's like, yeah! And he punches you, but he's real strong. And you're just like, oh! He kills Gary.
Stop.
All right.
By joshing.
Death by joshing. No, you see, it's like he like picks up what you're putting down, but he hits you a little too hard at first, and you kind of spin a little bit, and you see he turns back to the group that's with him, and he's like, the fellow's not as sturdy as he looks. And then you see he counters with his own state of joshing, and his raw, he gets +4 to this. A 22! Gary, you're on the ground, having been punched super hard, you're ass backed on some mud, and the sheer jovial nature of a state of Josh lifts you from the ground. You're back on your feet, it pushes the mud off even. But you see the group, he's like maintained this jovial nature with them. They all start kind of palling around and joking. Somebody throws you a beer, and it's just like pook, and you've got one. Somebody like hands you a joint, and it's some of that man's shit, and you're just like, oh shit. And so the party kind of starts popping off around you a little bit. Dickens, this gives you like in a moment you're like sitting there clanking on your plates, and you look over and you see from this joshing, from this jovial state, that energy once more starts being emanated and kind of washing around. Quickly, you look for that seam that would indicate Slapsticks is near, but it doesn't, and you just see that like the happiness of this festival itself is generating that energy, and so.
Okay, I saw him do it, like suck up the happiness. I want to try. I know nothing of anything he was doing, but I see happiness, and I'm like, do it.
Dude, that's super dope. Give me this. Okay, it would actually be detecting the nature of magic. So give me an Arcana check.
You said that wand that makes people smile?
Oh yeah.
I
think it's in the pants, right? Yeah, so it's in there with.
I put on a cowboy hat and give you a text Arcana check.
All right, so this again, just the status of these kind of is a very hard check. So you begin drawing around, just kind of like imagining the same as holding your own and trying to channel that energy. You notice you draw the cloud toward you, but you are unable to absorb it. But you do seem to have, and something pretty of note, some strange ability to draw this energy. And so the counter of your brother, feeding on it and exhuming it, it strikes you that this idea has merit, but you may not necessarily know how to do that yet, but in this attempt, you are able to draw it close to you, but it won't go up and actually ingest or like go into you in any way, as you saw your brother absorbing it.
Yeah, it works a little bit and it gets close and I'm like, ah!
It's hot. You start coughing. Sorry, it's too big. All right, so in this moment, you see Erdenmeyer, is just kind of standing there. Again, the jovial nature of it all comes around. You see, he looks over at you, Gary, and he says, "Well, what? Where's the young lady? The young lady Nade? When last I left, you all were in quite a pickle. Did you get that resolved, friend?"
I guess you could call it the pre-honeymoon cruise. She's away now, but...
Cruise, you say? So she went with that hardy elven woman.
Well, I mean...
Is this that handsome diddler?
He's like Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah,
I'm the handsome diddler. All right, so yeah, you see, he kind of like kneels down to you and he's like, quite a prize, the Nade family. But, as you said, it appears I've done okay for myself, as have you. I see the emblem of the Green Knights on your very chest. You should be proud.
Thank you for that. It took a lot of... let's just say it took a lot.
You see, he looks down and he's like, I smell something on your person there, a distasteful odor of the dark side of things.
Sorry about that. All that's going on, I sometimes just...
No, not that. You see his little group laughs, like fart jokes are always funny. And so a little more of that magic spills out. You see Dickens trying to and so yeah, you see he's like, no, but that blade you have at your side.
Right.
Cursed, eh?
Wheeled it out, still with the handkerchief around the hilt.
Yeah.
This we found this, and it's a real troublemaker. Tell you what.
You see, he like sticks his finger out, and he's like, balance it on my finger, will you?
Okay, I'll do a little hook because I'm pretty sure it's like a hook.
You see, it's like you toss it up, and he's kind of like he feels it. You see him tap the hilt a little bit as it, balances on, and he tosses it back over to you. Ooh, nasty curse on that one. Don't find yourself on the bad side of a fight holding that thing.
Oh, I can see. I already did that and didn't quite enjoy it. But cursed. What kind of curse this thing's got? I mean, you look at it and you assume it's cursed, but...
He's like, He looks down, he's like, the god of the roads shows us many things, and once I walked beyond the black iron gates. Although these sunny afternoons have a way of making you forget those times. I do recall a run-in with the mercantile organization known as Boxos Gobos, upon which I purchased from this strange little goblin man. You see, like, reaches into a bag. 3 of these golden scrolls. Now, this Boxo said back in the lands of yore, curses began popping up everywhere, and these golden scrolls served to counter the encroaching curses of the Shadowfell. Based on the smell of it, I'd say one of these could help you out. You see, he looks back at the ladies, and he leans in, he's like, but I have a show I have to put on, so I'm gonna need 90 gold.
Right, I'm very grateful that you're willing to part with it. Kind of got the know-how here. Gold, yeah.
He's like, I've got 2 more, if you find yourself in any other familiar pickles. Pickles! Speaking of pickles! And you see, he kind of looks over and he's like, he appears to be in some kind of trouble. And you look over and you see that there's all these elves. There's these like elves like kind of closing in. You see Pickles like just looking around and they're all just stomping you out. Pickles is dead. Now, just ragdolling around. Now that these elves are all kind of gathering around, and you can see that Erdenmeyer is like, hey, you might want to check that out. And just as he does that, you hear this like the running feet of Amaryllis as she runs by with this bag. And so this is where we are. You know, the party rejoined back together. Erdenmeyer standing nearby. You guys, you see Pickles is like standing, and there's just elves kind of starting to gather all around. What do you do?
Well, I was going towards the boys, and I want to dump Cedric out of the pants as quickly as I can, mincing no time. Who's Kycynthius?
You like splash it down on the ground. You see, you just kind of like unbag him. You said you were over by the boys, right? Boom, sorry, I'm just gonna.
I just imagine like all sorts of shit coming out of those pants, like a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, everything falls out.
Somehow he's also soaking wet.
He can't. That's like a flamenco dancer.
He's just like a flamenco dancer.
You just grab the bottom of the cuffs and you pour it out. Yeah, you see the staff of smiles tinkers out and like falls on the ground, whatever. A couple of random like things that would be in Dickens's pants as well. And then Cedric Ingelander, you know, his faint elvish skin, very handsome young lad, sharp features. You know, he's a path of the sky, and he has the sky in his eyes. He's kind of an erudite. You spill him on the ground, and he what? He looks around, and he's like, Amaryllis. Oh. I haven't seen you in...
I grab him by his stupid pointy elf ear. Kycynthius, now!
Kycynthius, I'm not familiar. I don't know this name. I don't know this name.
Okay, so it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Well, that was my whole plan.
Wait, Amaryllis. Wait. When last I saw you, it was before we were to meet. We were to meet and investigate the caves to the north, but Alonzo told me that the beasts had gathered, so I couldn't go. My camp was ripped apart by wolves, and then... Yes, and I never saw you.
The god seed. And it's beyond anything that I could have imagined, and I saw beyond the gate, Cedric. I saw beyond the gate.
Oh, Amaryllis, please,
There was an army and something else.
Amaryllis, calm yourself. The god seed.
I'm not going to calm myself. This is crazy.
Yes, no, of course. I'm sorry. I'm discombobulated. Hold on. You said a god seed. What is this god seed? The ruby egg. We sought to go to the temple of the ruby maiden. We were to meet and never did. What happened?
I might have used you as bait for Alonzo.
Alonzo? I have been traveling with her by her side. She told me that we could not proceed into the caves, that the beasts had grown. She and her companions hunting for the midnight geese. My camp had been torn apart by wolves, so I returned.
They shot you, bro.
Dickens, you're sitting there and like you can't help but like remember this conversation that you had with the Wayfarer at the Hopalong Haven. And he was like, he had shown you this little box that had this strange green skull energy. And while you're trying to focus on your arcana and learn how to ingest this happiness, you look over and you see that Cedric is kind of like brimming with that strange energy that was present in that odd box. And so it's like he's sitting there and you look. In this moment, Dickens, you think with the 18 arcana, Cedric's had his memory wiped.
Do I recognize that he's off also?
Yeah, like this, it's like the story he's telling you, if you recall, you were both to meet, and you went and his camp was messed up. And then you followed blood and found him in the temple. According to him, that never happened. Like the last thing he remembered was that you were to meet there, and then Alonzo told him that there was beasts and that it wasn't safe to go. And then he just said, now there is a weird gap in his memory to the effects of now. And then he traveled with her to the festival, and here he is now. And so you see Dickens is like looking kind of strangely over at it. And you're picking up that like your friend Cedric.
I look at Dickens and then I'm doing like the equations in front of my face. I'm thinking about Alonzo and I'm like, Cedric, you don't know anything.
That's what I've been saying.
She's like, I'm sorry. I was to meet you at the
No.
and you can see he's like struggling, and like it's like that gap that like I was to meet you, and there was beasts in the cave, and so I would have gone back to my laboratory. I would have gone back to my laboratory and wait. And
Hey,
then
Bam.
I am enjoying
Yes.
how confused he is, but it is inconvenient.
He's like, can I walk up with everybody like good friends? Like, it was always going to be really scary, but now we're all walking up kind of laughing with each other. Like, is that okay? Or did you have a plan? Because that was
sure.
kind of
No, yeah. You see, it's just for the awesomeness of it. You see, you're kind of looking, and the other elves are like, just big on we, pickles on we.
Yeah, classic pickles on weed.
So you see, yes, you were able to like a lot. You're like, oh no, we're not. You know, Cedric's right over there. You know, and they're like, oh, Cedric's right over there. We all thought you were stealing him and getting him. And he's right over there. And so yes, you see Pickles just kind of rolling up with there's probably 5 of those hooded kind of hunter elves and Alonza, who's like, again, she looks like the color has been knocked from her face a bit at the news that you presented, that the Godseed is not here.
But
As I
I'm
see them
also
come
like,
up, I yell at Cedric, forget everything I just said.
And you see he's like,
that's funny.
yes,
but-
whatever you say, Amaryllis. I would do anything for you.
Oh, Cedric, why are you on the ground? It is so, I'm so sorry to see this. And I help Cedric up and I like dust him off.
And you see, he's like, because you're always so mean to him, he like is a little afraid to like take your paw, and then you like help him get up, and he's like, ugh. And every time you move, he flinches just a little bit, like, yes, thank you. Yes, hello, Alonza. I was just talking to our friends. Certainly you recall. And she's like, yeah, just cuts him off. She's like, yes, of course I remember. We had ourselves a deal. It looks like you broke your end of the arrangement and attempted to wait. And she kind of puts her hands up. She's like, I'm sorry. I should offer you the gifts of the road as we have so sworn to do. You see, she like holds a geese out, one of the midnight geese that she has. She offers it to you as a gift. As you recall, it's her way. And so before accusing you of anything, she wants to calm down a second. She's ready to listen to what you have to say. She wants to gift you this midnight geese. She holds it out. She's like, I have been curt in my expectations of you. I simply wish to know where the seed is. And she holds the geese out to see like a peace offering.
If nobody else is, I'll reach for it. I mean, I take it, and I want to answer. I mean, Monotree, that's where it's at.
And
It's out of our hands.
She looks, you know.
Tell her what you saw. Tell her about everything that you said to us.
You think I should, Pickles?
You know what? At this point, if there are some big old fucking blight coming this way to take us all down, then I think it does not care who is in the moral right or wrong.
You're right. And I'm swinging the goose around. And like Pickles said, there was this big blight thing. Like that's the only thing that I know that I could like describe it as. And then like an army. And do you know anything about
I
that?
saw that.
Huh? You did?
Yeah, I saw army.
You see Alonza's eyes narrow at the presence. She's like an army. I'm on a tree beyond the gate. You see, she looks and, you know, kind of looms over, you know, this giant 150-foot black iron gate that looms, that, you know, casts some of this area in shadow. You know, as the sun gets higher in the sky, it's less and less, but it's just this loom dark iron thing. And you can like see her that, yes.
It looks as if this god seed that we were caught up with is a lot bigger of an issue than maybe you or I even had any idea about. I don't know who else you are caught up with if you do not know who Carcynthius is or any of that. But I will tell you this, I believe that there was something bigger going on that might be even bigger for one of the best huntresses in this region, in this world, as far as I know.
You see, she looks around for a moment and nods. I must admit, I did not foresee us becoming allies. But if what you say is true, then I need your help just as much as you seem to need mine. Perhaps we should retreat to a quieter location. Your choice. This is no ambush. I come to you with offerings of peace and am prepared to help put some of these pieces together for you.
Should we go to the burrow?
That's all the way back in Humble Patch.
I mean, we could go to where the Neds are if anybody, we could track down where Vivica is and the hut Damn lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a couple of brandy glasses and I'm in like a red robe now. It's, because like I'm an agent of chaos and she's very like business-like right now, and for some reason, even though that's like completely against what Dickens is, he's like,
Pick it up what she's putting down.
Where can we take this conversation now?
I will allow you a lead, and in fact, to show my intent, she like whistles, and then like the people just kind of like disappear in plain sight. You know, as Rial would so often back in the day. You know, they're so stealthy that they just as people walk by, suddenly they're gone, and it is just Alonza now with this group.
You know, guys, maybe you recognize where we got here from? Think anybody else would if we need a safe space?
That's a good yes. The room, the teleportation circle room that Pickles Super Mario jumped out of, and then you guys climbed up Dickens like a ladder. That room is still under the barn. You know, it wasn't. There was no ladder present. There was no, there was no signs that this was like this may have been there before, and then they built a barn over it. You know, and so it's like you would think based on what you saw, probably not known to like the people in this area.
Okay.
I also want to take this opportunity to explain to her that, like, I think my brother is, like, a bad guy and he hired me without telling me blah, blah, blah to kill her. And now I'm like,
Nice.
I cannot do that. I feel like I should not do that.
You see, she's, you tell her. Do you tell her that the specifically the detail that he had told you not to let her get the God Seed?
So... sorry?
And you see she's like, oh, no surprise. His eyes are everywhere. The Silent Order is always present. I have much to tell you. Best we get to the safety of this location. Lead the way.
Let's go back to our weird hole.
Time with our new friend.
The glorious hole.
Are you?
All right, you see Erden. Erden Meyer kind of stands up and he's like, whoa. I've had my share of adventure for the day. I'd like to sit back and relax. But it's good to see you all again. May you enjoy the bounties of this festival, and may everybody look at this! And he starts like doing all kinds of feats of strength to distract the crowd and let you guys get away. You know what I mean? It's like this all this stuff that's just happened, the elves showing up, people disappearing, the pouring somebody out of a bag, started to arouse some attention. Now that attention is focused on Erden Meyer, the way he likes it. And he's just doing like a one-armed push-up, over here in the sand.
Cedric, you very sweet boy. Come on. Cedric, come with me. All right.
I
He's very nervous at how nice you're being to him. He's like, okay. Amaryllis, you would...
Probably best that everyone's watching that guy.
I will give him a nice little goodbye, though. Thanks for the blessings from your god of the road. We send it right back from the Green Lady.
So
since he's doing push-ups, he's probably about my height-ish. So.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, Gary. Yes. And he just keeps doing one-arm push-ups. You see, at first, you're like, he takes a little bit of sand in his offhand and like tosses it on your shoe. And it's like, at first you're like, hey, are you throwing sand at my shoe? And he's like, a blessing from one journeyman to the other. The exchange of sand from my boot to yours. May your path be ever green and your lights, lady, burn ever bright.
May your roads be ever safe. Good to see you again, friend.
And then he pounds it, but it's with the arm that he's doing the push-up with, and he just floats there for a second because he's so dope. And he just like optimism keeps him in the air, and he pounds your knuckle and he goes down.
Yeah, I whisper to Gary, like, you guys are engaged now.
All right, so you guys kind of you see the plan moving through kind of this area. Go ahead and make me, whoever wants to take the group perception check. Give me a perception check. There's some things at play as you guys kind of weave through the crowds and head toward. Remember, it's hidden behind this. And there's an old rule that there's always something that looks like a dick on my maps for whatever reason. And we found this one. This particular spire has a very demonic dick look. So just behind this dick spire here.
I like the forest of tiny dicks.
Yes, I miss it too. Hidden behind here is the barn where you guys, you'd found the teleportation circle from Humble Patch beneath the Church of the Lady. Tarvin Tinderberry brought you there. It teleported you to this teleportation circle in the town of Gate Shadow, in this hidden little 10 by 10 stone room underneath this barn. And so you see that the cows are still there, just like, just big bites of wheat.
Can we? Since no one really knows about this hole, can I with that 21 perception, can I give a check-a-rooney to see if it's a old church and old what it was for? What was
yeah. So you actually, it's like you're also kind of putting it together. Like the thing that happened where Chrysanthus and Amora battled over you, that interrupted the magic that was supposed to take you from there to here. And so you look, the stone, if you recall, it was rougher hewn stones when you went in Humble Patch, when you went below. It wasn't the sharp stonework of the church itself. And you see that same thing here, that the stones are old and rough hewn, as if perhaps there is a network of these teleportation circles. They all have the same stone hand reaching out to the accepting flower or light of the lady. And so it seems perhaps a travel network of the old Green Knights of the Green Lady, that you guys have stumbled upon, an old temple, and they used to go around before the days of innocence, when no murders and all that stuff. But back when there was an army and stationed guards, they were the Green Knights of the Green Lady. And so this may be their old transportation network.
Okay. Night ladies! She's a night lady!
Night lady!
80 cents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered something that I wanted to do, but I just remembered.
Yeah.
I need, would Alonzo know anything? Probably not. Would Cedric know anything about breaking curses? Breaking aging curses? I totally forgot about that shit.
So actually, I did. It's just a key detail that Vivica, she said that the type of curse that was inflicted on Sarah was a hag's curse, and that she was gonna go get sea hags and have them brought to her encampment. So that's
okay.
Yes.
I just had the thought of should I have been asking this whole time if
Vivica was such a sea fox. I forgot everything else except for that salty kiss too. So
I got that with other shit that you must know.
So yeah, that's what's kind of going on right now. Like you said, you notice her encampment. Your perception is good enough here, Pickles, that you kind of give a look around what's going on. The main thoroughfare where the gate will open is kind of being kept clear and open to accept the emissaries from the other lands to come in and take the food and leave. And so it's they're setting up kind of a presentation, big pageantry, side banners and stuff. And it's early enough, but people are finally starting to gather and try to get the good seats nearest the gate to try to peer outside and see what they can learn. It's some people have never seen because they can never get a good enough spot. These people have set their post all day. It's like a concert, and so you start seeing the gathered focus start being a little bit more toward the festival that is to come. But you see, you kind of glance around and get your bearings. You notice that across the way here by this guard tower, there's the boat, the exact same boat that Vivica Seafox had left Humble Patch, has already docked by this guard tower on the opposite shore. Not as far as that broken wizard tower in the south, but just across the way. There's even small ferries going back and forth there. Either you can walk over the bridge or you can take a boat, and you see there's a couple guys fishing out in the river and stuff as the population just starts to boom and swell. And you can see Vivica C. Fox is just walking around, strutting her stuff, giving orders to people. But she's there, and she doesn't look very distressed. She looks like she's getting ready for the party. So it's not like you see Sarah with a knife to her throat or anything like that, but you don't see Alyssa or Sarah in this moment. You can guess that they might be nearby.
Okay. I just had that thought of I wonder if I should have asked that as well. But yeah, so as this thing right now that we are at, we're walking into this secret cow hole. What is so you're telling me, okay, so there's probably different portals to different areas.
Correct.
Other than just back in Humble Patch.
Yes, and I mean, like there is, again, it's like you could do a history check to see how familiar you would be. I would say, Gary, if you mention if you know, the Green Knights, now that you're just connected to their legacy, you would have advantage on that history check if you want to try it. I know history checks are notoriously tough for us, but yeah, I could give you a little more answers with a history check. At this point, what you've determined is you knew the Green Knights were kind of like the guard of old, that this travel network seemingly was placed underneath a church of the Green Lady in Humble Patch, and it would make sense to want to move your forces around quickly in Sativan if you had a guard. So you would assume perhaps that there may be more, but how to connect to them or where they might be is beyond you.
I wonder
Right,
how
even the
we
connection.
can...
Using the torch, like the fact that was kind of our key to use the secret passageway sort of thing.
Yes.
But, yeah, with a 14, I don't know if Gary gets that much.
Yeah, Gary, you're kind of like holding your hands on the stone. You feel connected to this, as if the power, the benevolent energy that's being gifted to you, is being present from the Green Lady, and this so bestowed upon her knights. So there's a piece of lineage as you walk in and put your hands upon the stone in here. Between the two combined minds of you and Pickles, kind of discussing this, I would say the answers that you have so far. This is a network. This was how the Green Knights used to be so immediately ready to defend before the days of innocence, when they used to have to jump around and be like, guards and enforce laws more violently than is the state today, where everybody's pretty much blissfully happy and almost nothing happens. And so
Almost.
Yeah, almost, right? Until last night.
We had a good run.
It was a tough night. No good, very bad night. And so you see that energy being spilled down into you as you touch the stones. But that's all, you don't necessarily know how to make that magic work, or if you could connect to the other networks, if there was some way or ritual that might do that. That magic is a little bit beyond your guys' grasp. But you have Cedric, you have Alonza, and if you want to bring them down there, you have like a safe little area by which to talk that you can feel pretty comfortable that nobody is around.
Bonjour, welcome to our cow hole.
You kind of close the little hatch, and there's a little bit of dust. It's kind of you miss in a moment the connection to that benevolent energy of the festival, how optimistic and full of light everybody is. Sorry. You look around, you see Alonza kind of jumps down, and she looks at you. She says, Dickens, if what you say is true, and the Wayfarer is your brother, and your brother is from another world, some shadows have come into light. What know you, and she looks at the entire group, what know you of the Silent Order?
Let me look back into my brain with my eyeballs that roll into the back of my head, but they are also black, so you cannot tell. I don't think I have anything on them yet.
So you see, pull out your notebook, and you're like, and Alonza's like, yes. She's like, the Silent Order. It is a crime to even speak of. No wonder you've not heard. This man, Dickens.
Trick question.
There are many, even now, I would break the rule to speak of it to you. So I'm certainly not the only one. The Wayfarer has recently made many enemies. His demeanor changed, has focused singularly upon one thing: getting you five together. He's strange. We all questioned his methods. I serve as one of his generals, even. But when the news of this dragon egg turned Godseed came to light, my other allegiances come first. For you see, I am also the leader of a group known as VonCheux, the elvish callers of the past. We seek to bring the gradient light of Corellon Lorathian back into the world of Ganjaria and give elves their god once more. As I spoke to you earlier, the last 500 years has been naught but suffering. There is a ringing in our ears at all times. We have learned to live with it, but without connection to our God. Previous Lord of the Feywilds, kept so far removed. The power to bring him possibly back into this world was too much. and I stepped out against the Silent Order. But this all started around the arrival of that ship that you mentioned. So she says basically that the Wayfarer was sent as part of the Silent Order to this crash site of the spaceship. And after that point, only the Wayfarer returned, none of the agents that went with him. And ever since that day, his demeanor has been forever changed. I should have gone and looked myself. But I must admit, I too wanted the seed. It would appear that this ring you describe, that allows him to shift shapes, that was not present before that crashing ship.
Oh.
I wonder if not, he was replaced. And if the real Wayfarer is hidden somewhere.
That would be pretty sick nasty if that were the case. So, alright, so the thing is though, what we have learned is that there is something coming this way that is a darkness or something, or is it
blight.
The blight?
Yeah.
But it is coming this way, and it is not. It seems like it does not differentiate or keep any. There's no special people around. It's going to eat everything up. So it's almost as if these motivations or obligations are all kind of moot if something is going to kill us all anyway. Don't you agree?
There is no doubt that the god Corlon the Rathian could purge this land of the blight and see it reborn in his image. So that triggers Amaryllis. You recall, you had a vision of different people obtaining the god seed. And you did have one where Alonzo Quinfallow grabbed the seed, and this elven god was called to the realm of Ganjaria. And it's similarly to how the Ruby Maiden did, it kind of purged the land, did heal it, purged the blight away, but the whole land was reborn in a new image, and in a pretty violent way.
I mean, she's technically right, but I don't know if that's the best solution for everybody. That wants to stay alive.
Who's to say that your motivations are going to be better than anyone else's? Cedric, what would you have with this gold seed? What was the whole point of you trying to find it in the first place? You sweet boy, sweet boy.
I'm really proud of Pickles for asking Cedric a question. I'm just like,
being so polite.
Yeah, I'm rubbing Cedric's shoulders now.
She's very nervous because you guys, so many of you hate him so openly that you see he's just very uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah, Amaryllis, I know nothing of this god seed. You and I were to seek the ruby egg, the remnants of the ruby dragons, and prove it once and for all.
I don't even know.
For like a second, Pickles was like, sweet boy. They are one and the same. You understand, you sweet.
And the minuscule amount that he knows is really starting to irritate me, and I have no patience for it. I'm just like, okay. You know what? Never mind. Back to Alonzo. I'm sorry, I called you Alonzo. Alonzo. I feel like there's something that will work for everybody.
You see, she looks. Now, there is a virtue of this moment where, if you want to persuade her into a certain course, you may. You can take that step beyond. You know that she is a rather virtuous person and that her faith is stalwart. I don't think you'll ever be able to convince this woman that Corlon the Rathian is not the greatest, outcome for her. Yes. But how you proceed from this point, she seems open to discuss with you. So if you want to persuade her toward a certain action, or get her to elicit any more information about the things that she seems to have, restrained on, you can, but it would either be a persuasion or a deception, depending on how you guys want to do that.
Okay. Can you? Oh, yeah, please.
Wait,
I've,
before we get started, I would like to ask you a question. Who opens the gate?
That is an excellent question. So it's part of the ceremony. Now, the green flame of the Green Lady is brought via this huge giant procession from the Church of the Lady, where her green fire burns ever bright in the highest pyre of the church. The same pyre that, Gary, you had nightmares of the fire being extinguished, which called you to this action. That fire is brought to the ceremony, and then the offerings are given, and then the light of the green fire basically dispels the magic that holds the gate shut and allows it to open for a very brief period, while emissaries, and remember, it can never be the same emissaries, because once you come into Sativan, you either leave or that's it. Like, there's no, like, once you're in Sativan, you're either in forever, or there's something that you guys aren't aware of what goes on beyond that. So, but that's what happens. The fire spills its green light upon the gate, which opens. At that point, the exchange of goods, the great music starts being played, and it's just a grand exchange of these different cultures very briefly for a moment. And then everybody takes their things and leaves. And then the final, that's when as the gates shut is when the people who are the winners of the offering are chosen each year, as Tank Badgerly was last year, with his great irrigation system that he came up with all by himself.
Are we able to, is there anywhere where I may bear witness to what is outside?
So that's okay, yes. So as far as you know, it's in Sativan, it is extremely looked down upon to attempt to scale the gates, and that there's supposedly a magic barrier that extends beyond just the walls itself.
Right.
But, that's not to say you couldn't try. It is, a thing where you might not want to get spotted doing whatever you're considering.
Fair, and I'm not saying I'm going right now. I'm just saying.
So
I
yes.
just wanted to know.
There are no, it's like there's not bowmen on the top of the gates or anything, because it is also the magical enchantment that protects this region. But it was the leader of the Indicus Empire that erected this massive wall, and so perhaps that extension of might, it's just to constantly remind everybody the power of the Indicus Empire.
Dig it. All right, Gary, as you were, I'm very sorry. Thank you for letting me interrupt you. Ask a question.
Oh yeah, no, good question. I still got the arrow that Alonzo gave me from, I was going to say many moons ago, but it really wasn't that long ago.
A moon.
The moon.
I do want to present it back to her. You told me that this would bring us home, so I think fate pretty much brought us all here together.
You see, she kind of like gently wraps the arrow, and she says, I have acted in a way I wish I could return to, and have done things differently. I must admit, my singular focus is on bringing our God back to the people of the elves and ending our suffering. But there seems to be many agents of play that intersect all at this one point, the Harvest Festival itself. Your brother, Dickens, replacing the Wayfarer, the Silent Order operating without a leader. Things are not well in the state of Sativan, and I fear what may happen when the gate opens in a mere, 12 hours' time. Whatever we must do quickly. Have you a thought to a course of action?
The gate opening. Can we not do that?
You see, as if hearing an idea that a person would never consider. I suppose it is possible. If the green fire would... And you see is she realizes literally what she's about to say might be treasonous. And she kind of gets where she is and she looks over at Gary. And she's just like, I mean no offense, dear knight, and no ill work to your lady herself. But if her flame were not to burn on the light of that gate, it would not be able to open for another year.
It's for the greater good.
The greater good.
What she would want.
Gary, I'm not going to lie. This idea to you, it's like this this sharing of the bounty of the soil of the lands growing up as a path of the earth, this weighs a little heavily in your mind. And it's, in what respect does this mean? You know what I mean? Does this mean you have to attack the procession? And how you want to play that out, I think, might dictate how wholly you can allow the reverent side of yourself to commit to the plan. But as far as you know, not 75% of the world's food comes from this. And so, not to say that everybody dies, but this decision, which is a decision you can make to try to stop the opening festival, word of an army on the other side, a blight that's spreading ever closer, perhaps best not to lower the defenses of this state. It seems this giant looming decision is in front of you. Do you allow the opening ceremony festival to proceed as planned, open the black iron gates, and allow the traffic of goods and information between the 5 kingdoms of the world, perhaps 4 now, with the Fellsworn fallen? Or do you stop the green fire from burning on the gate? And that's where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys.
Oh, well.
Wow.
So I'm going to let you guys simmer on that decision here for a little bit, because this is why I love Dungeons and Dragons is things like this. Here we go. Let's see what you guys are going to do and why. So thank you guys so much. Oh my God, I love Dungeons & Dragons. You guys are the best. This was so much fun. We do have us a little 10-minute intermission that we do around here. Check out all the amazing artwork. There's just incredible stuff submitted by over a dozen artists, I think, at this point. Incredible music by the brilliant Sandy Stein, who does all of our original music through Season 0, and Season 1, and is just one of the most incredible dudes in the world. Huge shout outs to Ed Palomino, who does all our layouts and everything. Guys, hang around, enjoy this art. Battle Royale, if you're with us here on Twitch. Whoever wins gets 100 gold, and I might be making NPCs out of the winners, maybe. And so enjoy that. We will be back in 10 minutes for the resolution of this drama before the Harvest Festival. back to WeeDnD Buds, the positive live tabletop role-playing experience. When we left off here before intermission, we were having us a bit of a lore dump from the old DM. But yes, many of the threads that have gone astray during this narrative have come together in this conversation with Alonzo Quinfallow, as some of the pieces that didn't seem to make sense start coming to light. You guys are currently actually, dude, let's get back in. So we're gonna jump back in. You guys are standing in this stone room, the rough stone walls of the formerly Green Knights. This room with a teleportation circle that you've activated to come from Humble Patch down here to Gate Shadow. It's a 10 by 10 room. Brian fits. Sorry, it's an old joke. It's 10 by 10 room. You guys are in kind of close quarters, but you can smell the animal scat on Alonzo's shoes. But you're standing there talking to Alonzo Quinfallow, at one time thought an enemy, perhaps now some sort of allegiance between you, whatever that may represent itself as. But you see she's standing there, and her thoughts dwell upon the God Seed and beyond the wall, but she is called back by you to the matters at hand. The idea of not allowing the gate opening to happen, she says, as a citizen of Humble Patch, I would be loath to even comprehend the idea, but as a member of the Silent Order, it does make sense to keep the safety of the kingdom intact, even if there is some cost to the world at large.
If we are where all of the food comes from, if Sativan falls, then there is no food later, right?
Yeah, exactly. A harvest festival a year from now is better than none ever again.
Well, that's something that we have to think about. Gary, how does that make you feel?
It's weighing on me. I'm worried because, we've got this army out there. We've got this blight right behind them. And as much as in my heart I want to fight it, I don't know if we can fight it at this point. And given that Tina Smoothhand sacrificed herself to make Tativan, to make this land, one of our main tenets is to preserve the light, to kindle the light. And much as I hate to have anyone go hungry, I have to.
Is there another way out of Sativan?
You see, Alonzo begins thinking, I've been asking myself that same question. Whatever we are to do here, my sights now extend beyond the gate itself. Perhaps that is where my services would best be used?
I think, so I've been goofy for like fucking days, it feels like, but things have gotten serious. So I'm like back in Dirty Harold mode. Like,
Hear me.
and I'm like, it seems like the only way to keep this place safe. Because Gary was talking about light and darkness, and that resonated with me as a Twilight Cleric, is to keep those gates closed. But we can't abandon all those brave soldiers out there that are trying to protect us. So maybe some of us need to go out there and try to give them a fighting chance.
So like a half open.
But well, that's what I'm asking, if there's maybe another way to get through, like maybe if we can get in the wall. I know it's like frozen everywhere.
Disagreeing with you.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm just saying, like clarifying it, yeah. Maybe we can do something like that, or, first things first, it looks like we need to get rid of the blight that is already inside of our gates.
The real blight.
Could you not, sorry, my accent, my cuddle bear accent is, it's not French, because French isn't real, it's very heavy. Maybe first, before we, worry ourselves with what is on the other side of the gate, we bother ourselves with what is inside already with this slapstick brother fellow of yours. Alonzo, do you think that you could still pretend to be in his allegiance and I don't know, like was how you say espionage?
How can we lure him in? Like, will it take a meeting with one of us? Does somebody dress up like a pretty lady clown? Like, what do we do?
Taking literally every opportunity to dress like you can dress like a pretty lady clown.
No,
You don't need a reason.
a parasol.
Whatever you want, buddy.
And they're like, you cannot seduce your brother. And I'm like, look, I had the outfit. I wasn't, obviously.
So you see, she shines at your thought of sabotage. She says, currently, I do not know how aware this Slapsix is of my betrayal to his cause. I do not know how eagerly he would accept me into his fold, but the prospect of information as to your successes or failures might pique his interests. I think if you came with me, it may show our hand too strongly. If you wish for me to serve as an agent of his until a time specified, I would be willing to do so. But I must send my people, the agents of the VonCheux, to find a new way out if the gate were not to open.
Yo, I got a proposition for you. Maybe there's a way that we can keep in his favor for both of us. I'm supposed to kill you, and he knows that you're part of a big group. So what if you fake your death, and I make it look like I made good on my side of things, and then you're still able to send these emissaries you're talking about, and you can hang back and help us in other ways.
Give me a persuasion check, Dickens.
Wow.
On.
Oh my.
21.
Ooh. Ooh. That's beautiful.
Been duped.
You just give it away. Low wisdom, Digby.
You're allowed to be cleverly fooled, my friend.
She's just like, yeah, sure. But I love Digby.
It's so great. You're about to have a mind blown. You're not even ready.
Okay, so here we go. Dickens, 21 persuasion. You see Alonzo looks and she says, perhaps your way would be best. My information is not so strong as the presence of his betrayed general, now returned, dead. The VonCheux could just seek out a new way to pass through the gates, and all our interests would be served. I agree to your terms.
Oh, hell yeah!
It seems like a win-win-win.
Oh yeah.
And I shall have to inform Iman that I will be missing and not to worry.
Iman from the VonCheux.
Yes.
Is Yvonne on Facebook? Just make sure to poke.
But yeah, so if you wanna like masquerade her as dead, she's willing. Now this would be a deception on your side there, Dickens, and to get her over there. But yeah, that's absolutely the way you can go about doing this.
Okay.
Oh, we could use the goose blood if you want.
You are a really creative lady. I like that about you.
You taught me to use all the parts. Otherwise, it's murder.
She's just covered in goose blood. I got extra here.
Like someone do a quick sketch of it and then give it.
Yeah.
Take a snapshot.
It's like this
to
twisted.
see the murder scene in my brain.
Along that, is there something that could be brought to this person, even though he does not really know you that well? Is there anything of yours just on your that's not even special to you because he does not know you, like the Wayfarer does, that just would show that you were murdered, other than just some?
So it not as strong as, say, a corpse. You know what I mean? Like the body might be the strongest piece of evidence. But great point, Pickles. As described, the blade on the belt of Alonzo Quinfallow has the sigiled crest of Corlon the Rathian on it. And so it is well known to be like one of the sharpest blades in the land. And so to have this blade would be to imply that you bested her in some way.
Oh, and then you ate her because you did not want to commit murder. There you are.
Yeah, are there any bodies anywhere around?
Or are you super attached to that headdress? It looks great on you, but times call for.
You see, she's like, oh, it's my favorite. No, take my blade, please. No.
The arrow that we had, I mean, that was symbolic, wasn't it? The arrow that.
I think the blade is good.
I mean,
right?
Evidence we got.
She's lucky I don't try to take her funny bone.
Yeah, pretty much in like order of significance, you would think like her body is the highest, her blade would be the moderate, and like her like crown would be like probably lower. But all of these could be symbols that you interacted with Alonzo Quinfallow. But the strength of your
I'll
argument.
just take the blade, and then I'll super memorize the face she made when I stabbed her before she fell into the lava.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so like I stabbed her and I grabbed the blade, and then I was like, I'm letting you fall. And then she fell in and sizzled, and there was nothing left. And she, just so you believe me, this is the face she made.
It's very good face. I like it.
Uncanny.
I think
All right, so you take the blade.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah. You see, she's willing to give you the blade. Do you want her to like go with like what do you want her to do in that case in her stead if it's just the blade? Work with the people to find a way past the gate.
Does she want to climb to the top of a tower with me and go look on the other side of the gate?
She does. And she would be interested in doing so and seeing if it were possible. You see, she's not entirely convinced it's even possible, but she would be willing to give it a try.
We have to make Alonzo look a little different, though, and I yeah, and she looks like, I don't know, somebody different.
Is there any way that Roly Poly could do the helmet thing with the glasses and enhance her vision so that she could see outside the walls anymore?
What? This X-ray vision.
Try to like use like a looking glass. So looking glasses are actually like 1,000 gold. So like replicating their effects would be similarly priced. But yeah. But like, yeah, you could like put something again if you used your ability, like the right tool for the job. You could fashion something that may increase the range of their vision while they're up there. That would be something that's within realm.
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, I guess I just gave her like a makeover and she looks basically the same, and I'm like, oh shit.
Just gave her some curtain bang. Just people were like, whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh.
It's like he just puts like her hair up in a ponytail and has glasses on her, and everyone's like, who's this nerd?
This is the nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd from school, nerd.
Yeah.
Wait, she took her glasses off.
Whoa.
Wait, she was beautiful on the inside all along. Yes, you see nerdy Alonzo Quinfallow, and by nerdy, just a ponytail and glasses, if Hollywood is to be believed.
Yeah.
They're like, is that Alonzo Quinfallow? No, that's got to be her cousin from upstate.
Yeah.
And she's the new girl. All right. I followed this straight way too far.
That's Alonzo.
That's Alonzo Quinfallow. He's the new guy in town. Dunk that bunch this fall. All right, so yes, Alonzo gives you the her blade. It is a magical blade. You can tell immediately, Dickens. For all you would have to attune to it. Whatever it is, you can tell it's magical by touching it. But she hands you her magical blade to serve as proof of your deed. She says, that as far as you have the most recent knowledge of where he would be found, and that would be this tower to the south.
Yeah.
And
as soon as I touch it, I'm like, ooh, I can feel its magic just by touching it.
And she's like, yes, that is the nature of such a powerful blade, linked with the god Corlon Rathian himself, to be called upon again in the end times.
Is there any way that we could make the cursed blade that Gary has look just exactly like this one, and then give the cursed blade someone else, and then they can be cursed, and then we can have the real one, and then no one ever would. It'd be so funny. They'd be cursed, and they would. Come on.
Have I fixed the curse yet? I got the scroll from Earthfire.
To be fair, that's your call. I had, I think we kind of like the Amaryllis ran by with Dickens or with a man in Dickens's pants and spilled them on the ground, and then things started happening.
Yeah, do I still not have pants on?
I'm still holding your
My
pants.
choice.
But yeah, there's just so many things spilling out of them. I'm trying to like stuff them back into.
Bubble
Okay.
gum and Tic Tacs. Yeah, currently you're still just in your plate armor.
Okay.
You can have your pants back if you like.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. They really came in handy.
Yeah, I put them on and it sounds like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
Between that and the squeaky shoes and the plate armor, this is. I love it.
They're a loud boy.
He's a one-man marching band.
Yeah, it's always on tempo. It's great. It's
Yeah.
like dope.
He makes as much noise as he has in his own head.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with people. Just take one level.
Just one level of roach.
That could help me. I just did it.
Cool.
Would we be able to do the sword switch? Or even if we claim that Daybreak was something Alonza, because she's known for her sword, right?
She's known for her dagger specifically, like the Coralon the Rathian blade. So, obviously, any attempt at deception, all of that is within your whatever you guys choose to do. It is hard to like reshape magic weapons to look like other magic weapons, and so there might be some troubles, but that doesn't mean that you can't try. But yeah, if you haven't used the scroll yet, the scroll is enchanted. You have the option to remove the curse from Feybreak if you were want to do so.
Okay. But I think it'll be useful here. What you got in mind? You're my smartest friend. What you thinking?
I'm just so happy that I'm with all of my friends again. Was I supposed to be thinking of a plan?
The low wisdom Digby.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Yo, so I'm a high wisdom, low intelligence character. So I jokingly say something dumb that might be a good idea. I'm like, we should just take the curse and put it in Digby's gun and let him fucking shoot it at someone.
Yes.
Can you
You
separate?
should.
Not within what you know right now. Now, were that to be something you sought out, potentially, but no, remove the curse. Remove would destroy the curse and make the blade just the +1 long sword with fairy fire that it is. But it would remove the automatic death fail when you drop to 0.
All right. Cool. I want to go take a look at this, army, and I would like it if maybe somebody could keep an eye out while Alonza, this complete stranger I do not know, and I climb. So if anyone could maybe take a look or make a distraction while I do that, and then.
Darn pickles. I've got your back. I'll look out for everything.
Yes. So you know that.
I say.
This attempt, it's again, if you're seen by people, there's some things at play, so it'll probably be like a couple checks. But if you're is your goal to just scale the wall?
Yeah, I want to just take a peepsee.
Okay, so
I
you're
want to try to be sneaky and take a peepsee.
Can I throw you a guidance also?
Yes.
Yes.
I wanna start distracting the crowd. See if I can't get people singing a nice joyous song about the festival and booming my voice very loud with my thaumaturgy. Make sure everybody sings.
I'll start clanking rhythmically to help along with that.
Group attack. Music break.
Music break. Dance break.
It's like Edinburgh. It's like Edinburgh. There's like a live experience happening.
I like it. Yes.
Like an
Yeah.
Oompa band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's mute.
All right. So you're all basically serving as distraction to allow this attempt to go. You receive the guidance of Glorp to help you along your way. You see Alonza has like some climbing pittons and stuff, and just her materials and that she has at her camp. She's like, well,
I just have nothing.
yes. You're just a cuddle forge teddy bear. Teddy bear.
It's a yeah.
All right, so wise enough are you, Pickles, to wander south beyond kind of where the extent of most of the festival is.
Yeah.
You see some gathered. You see kind of like a little dwarven area. It's they've kind of gathered together near the south, where a lot of the finer blacksmiths and stuff are, setting up their little region as well. Many of them path of commerce as well. But you see, just kind of beyond this, as we've described earlier, demon penis looking pillar. If you were to kind of go onto the other side of it, you could ostensibly make your way up there. You don't know that people have tried, and kind of interestingly, as you begin walking over to the wall and preparing to climb, make a charisma saving throw.
I'd also like to. I mean, obviously, I want to take a look a peepsy at it, but of course, I'm gonna fucking peepsy.
Okay. All right, so good enough that it's like you feel like as you're looking at it, you're like, oh, okay. You're like trying to figure out a way to climb up it, and then like almost like in your own head, you start thinking like, why would I want to do that? It's such a lovely day. You know what I mean? Like, and there's this weird kind of like fey magic enchantment that is attuned to this gate as well, and so.
I'm free touch now, motherfucker. Let's get real.
That's right. You're like, so you realize perhaps like Erden Meyer had spoke of, and that there's like Sativon itself may have some level of enchantment where the kind of perpetual beauty of the day and fey magic winds that blow around kind of keep people from going too far out of line or beyond the need for things like a city guard or a watchman and stuff. And so that it's like that there is some level of enchantment that you feel yourself experience as you start to consider climbing. But again, you've heard the call of your own key to like beyond the gates. Remember, you had that pretty profound moment where there was thoughts of like your space in the world beyond the Black Iron Gates. And so in that moment, you kind of use that to push through, and you are able to take a shot at climbing this. Now, again, it's 150 feet. It is like a pretty, it's not built to climb, but I would say it would be 2 checks to be fair. Okay. So you can debate with me how you want to do it, and it'll probably be acrobatics, athletics. But you and Alonzo are both making those checks. Now she's very dexterous. So her approach would be, in fact, knowing you pretty close to yours as well. So how do you want to, you kind of look up, there's this big, dark iron tower. You've got a couple climbing pittons, and you see Alonzo's kind of setting to look about. You guys look around, and as the all the stuff that starts happening from your allies, everybody go ahead and just kick off your your distractions. You guys have a break to like take a shot at getting to the top of this. Were you to try? You want to take a shot at it, Pickles?
Yeah, you know what? Let's motherfucking do it. I swiped too far on my thing and it was like refresh. Okay, I would like okay, so my idea is that I'm trying to find like a good little corner so that no one can actually kind of see me, and I can do like a Jackie Chan fucking wah wah wah. Like I want it to feel like one of his great movies where I just kind of put my cigarette out. I would, like, if I had a tongue, I would put it out on my tongue, but
but you don't. You just put it out on your little like stitched mouth.
And you know what else is like changing me? It's been a long night. I almost died. I've seen myself bleed. I have so many questions about what I am and how can I be the only one in this whole world, and what my place is in all of it, and that I just need to see outside of the gate. Like, I'm like, maybe there's foggy memories of a time outside of the gate, but I don't know. Like, there's just so much that I've been through, and I need to see it because I've seen myself bleed. So I'm gonna try to use as much of my determination as possible to kind of like use these like Jackie Chan like acrobatics to like martial arts acrobatics to like get up a wall and boop 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 and like fucking climb up and like try to just get myself up as high as I can. As much as I can.
All right. Give me your... All right, so this dope. I'm going to grant you advantage on this. as well for the first check for Alonzo as well. All right, so you both have advantage on this first check. Give me an acrobatics check. And Alonzo rolled.
I got a 25.
All right, Pickles, you start bouncing off a couple things. There's like little bricks that are outlay, and you do like little back handsprings and double flips. And then for a moment, you like look down and you're like blown away at the dexterity of Alonzo Quinfallow as well. Yeah. Almost mimicking exactly, even though she's bigger than you. So these little ledges are nothing but toe taps for her as she's gliding up the wall alongside you. You reach up for a stone and it breaks. You start falling. Alonzo jumps up and grabs your wrist, and you guys like spin, and she tosses you up. You grab a rock and lean down, and she jumps up to you, and you two start using your extreme athleticism to kind of like acrobatically make your way up this top hill. You did so well, and Alonzo also got a 25, so it's like you both did so well. I'm bringing this to you. Pickles, this final acrobatics check, because that was so dope, will just be you. It'll be one more acrobatics check with advantage.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, we're going up, we're flipping and flopping, and it looks like when you like play like Assassin's Creed or like something like Spider-Man or something, and he's like coming up the wall, but you like button mash, so he's just like 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 where you're kind of glitching. It's just really funny. Or like yeah. Like Red Dead, you're taking the horse up the mountain for some reason, and just like fucking going. Yeah. So I'm gonna try. And I'm 25 again.
No way. 25 is the new 20.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what that means.
I needed this. Thank you, Tuesday.
You guys, the exchange is exactly that. You guys kind of managed to just like marvel your way all the way up to the very top of this. You see the kind of spiked black iron peaks of the dark iron gates that prevent entry, said to protect the regions of Sativan. You start climbing up. You see Alonzo alongside you, and you both.
We do that. We do one of these too.
You all hear it echoed all the way down. Another epic predator handshake, except yours is a little fluffy. Yours is a little. It's like.
Oh, there's like a little squeak.
That's it. That's exactly what it is that happened. So you finally end of the long sequence. You see both of you just shoot up and float for a moment, and as your eyes cross the threshold, Pickles have never really laid eyes on the mana tree itself, the expanse of it. I mean, it takes up the entire northern sky. It's this giant tree of pure magical energy on which Queen Mab sits on her throne amidst the sea of trees, this fey forest that was ever expanding and was to destroy the world and kill the world of men, but stopped growing when Queen Mab made the agreements with the 5 kingdoms. And so currently she sits on her throne of power in this magical tree of pure magical energy that was present at the birth of the world of Ganjaria. And so you see just like this emanating tree in front of you, dark greens and purples, enigmatic purple veins and pink wisps of energy and golden light that just pulse through it like golden veins throughout it. I mean, it's so far away, but it is so massive that it takes up the entire sky as you look to the north. It's so majestic in its grandeur that for the first time you see it, it's awe-striking you for a moment. You see Alonzo experiences the same, as an elf, specifically her lore connected to these massive trees of magical energy that once were the Eladrin kingdoms in the Feywild. You see her eyes shine as she looks upon it. And when you guys land, she falls onto her hands and knees and is just staring at this majestic light. You see her ears just like twitching on the side as she kind of zones out in her own way. But you, Pickles, land on the top of the spire of the gate. You feel there is a magical barrier in front of you. There's like a point at which you cannot move beyond, but you are able, it's like you're like safe, it doesn't hurt, but you are pushing against a wave of magical energy as you kind of take and look. You can get about halfway through through this little bubble there, and then, kind of do your best to peer over and see what you see. And I'm actually going to go ahead and switch us to another map real quick.
Ooh. Oh my god.
These are moments. These are moments where, as a DM, you're like, "Oh, thank God, I prepared that other map."
Oh, cool. Hey, boys.
So this is a little bit more of an exposure of what you see. Obviously, you're like climbing this spire. You're basically right here, Pickles. I don't have you on this map, but that's where.
Oh, I see. Bonjour. Yeah.
And so you can kind of see. You do notice that the army itself is far more entrenched than fleeing, or it doesn't look like they're not at the attack. There's not like weapons set up and stuff, but there's like a wear to them. It's like they are encamped, and you do see as you peer beyond, still miles off yet, but at the edge of your vision, coming over the Southlands, where the sun would shine from. It's like the night, the sky itself is fractured, and there's just this ever growing shadow of this black cloud crackling red lighting. Again, Stranger Things exists, so like now that image always does that, but that's the vibe. There's just this fractured shadow where the sky should be when you look farther south toward where the blight has been spreading. And so, but it is not like about to get to them. There is still some distance between them, and you can see what seems to be almost a battlefield. Like there is a point at which the blight ends, and there are soldiers that seem to be in combat, but it's not like the blight is spreading and you can see it moving. You know what I mean? It seems like this has been more of a they've been there a while doing this.
Okay, so I can see that there's like full camps set up along the wall.
Correct.
Okay, that's really frustrating. So I think that sucks. I wish I could be like, bonjour, we're the helping committee, but we're so far away.
You're super high up, and you feel that again, just because there is powerful magic connected to this gate. You do feel like your time here is like that fey magic that's going to make you go, I should go look and maybe sit under a tree. Like it's trying to get into you, but you're fey touched now, so you're kind of able to move through this in a way that you see Alonza is not. She is transfixed still on this tree.
Okay, so I kind of want to nudge her a little bit and point at the dark skies.
You see, it's like hard for her to tear away, but she does look to the south, and you see like a single tear falls from her eyes at the idea that this tree could at one point fall to this shadow. You see her just look, and it's like she looks at it again like it's a family member as she looks to the tree, and in fear she says, "We must bolster their cause. We cannot let the tree fall. Mab be damned. This blight will kill all of us."
And I don't think that we can help protect from the blight from inside of here.
That is true. Perhaps more clear than ever, we must find a way through this barrier. Do you still seek to keep the gate from opening?
Of course, I want to make sure I speak with the rest of my friends from the helping committee, but I just feel like that might be the best choice. Although now I see all these soldiers, and part of me wants to help them as well. But the gate is not something that we can open and close at will.
It is true. The magics are said to be quite strong, as old as the world itself.
Right. Who is in control of this magic? Is it Queen Mab?
So it was actually like a joint effort of all the kingdoms of men. So it was the men that built these gates, imbued by the leader of the Indicus Empire, and given the materials, it was probably the only glorious moment where we could all stand as brothers and sisters in the realms. But it is said to be able to stop any from entering. The wisdom to keep it from opening and stay the lands from possible destruction. It is a heavy decision to make, but I see your merits. Perhaps we should return to the group. It is such a beautiful day. And you see that fey magic starts like getting into her head a bit. She's like,
I do think that we have probably seen everything that we should see up here. Is there any, I don't know, can I perception or something to see if there's any even if I look along this wall, if there's any way that I can utilize my fey touch this, to see if there's any cluster of energy, or if there's something where I can see that there's a break in the wall or something from up there. I know it's kind of far off, but I'm just curious if I can use this vantage point to kind of see.
You kind of like try to like attune to this fey energy of the gate, and you're looking for a potential weakness. You see that the magics as are don't appear to have a weakness. They were very well enchanted. You see runes all along the walls etched in many different languages, and so it appears there's like many enchantments were put to work here, but that does get you to thinking that it's like, well, there is one thing that tends to open the gate, and that is that the fire of the Green Lady.
Could the fire of the Green Lady get through even just this, like, barrier around the gate?
Perhaps.
Oh, I mean, there's. Okay. All right. Okay. Let us. Thank you for all of your gifts. I will. I'm feeling like I want to go back down and how you say return to my friends and tell them a little bit of what we have done today, and then go kick some clown ass.
I need the rest of you guys to explain the levels that your distraction got to while Pickles was going up the wall there.
You guys are doing.
Oh, I'm like tap dancing, doing cartwheels and backflips.
I want to try something I've never done before. I want to just inflate myself until I explode into a pile of confetti, and then be okay.
Yes, Dickens, you see, in fact, quite the once more, something that you have noticed, Dickens, is like, as these big elaborate events go, you see Amaryllis tap dancing and you start inflating yourself. So too do you see the balloon of that happiness that you've this new energy that you've attuned to start generating out. Digby, what about you?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I'd just be enjoying watching everyone else do it.
Until I pull you on stage to be a part of the tap dance.
Yes, I have learned to flex my butt cheeks like some bodybuilders flex their pectoral muscles, and I've made like an ass dance with my dumps.
Oh my god!
Flexing it.
You brought dumps.
It's infatuating.
Them dumps, though.
Yeah, you see the dumps.
Like She-Hulk.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You see the dumps like waves of energy as this happiness continues to grow. Dickens, you're starting to like kind of as you're inflating yourself more and more and more, you're like looking down and you're seeing that like happiness, the joy of the festival start glowing. That magical energy starts swelling and growing ever more. Gary, what are you doing?
Well, with my new sword, am I able to cast like a friendly fairy fire? Very friendly fire, just because it deals with a lot of lights and the affectation of lights based on the spell, but it's mostly offensive. Can I do that to make more of a show?
Okay, I'll save you because fairy fire is like a damaging spell, but there are little fairies that have fire that spin around it. So yeah, if you want to go around and like Raver Kid, your little fireflies, and they start like it's like seeing like a time lapse of glow sticks where there's like swirls of light all around them. So everything you guys are doing is like highlighted by this fey light show that Gary's benefited you. Don't have to worry about actually casting fairy fire, but yes, utilizing the cool fey energies of Fey Break. Are you removing the curse or not? Are you leaving it on?
Yeah, I'll use the scroll for it.
So as part of that.
Yeah, if we weren't gonna do the the double sword thing.
So yeah, you see, in fact, to kind of explain that as you remove the curse, it's like the fairy flies that are with the sword. They seem happier, not constricted to this death curse magic that infected the blade. And so it's like, yes, the ill effects are there, but it is still the beautiful sword. And you see the fairies, they fly around and just kind of swirl around you guys and exemplify the display that has created more and more happiness that elevates beyond. You see Digby like super excited, like tapping his little claws, and you see Amaryllis dancing. She's got like the dress of Sarah on her with the illuminated lights as she dances on the stage, and you see Dickens growing ever bigger and bigger. Dickens, make me a religion check.
Okay.
What an interesting progression.
Right. So we're at a rave. There are clowns and low people getting down.
Sounds like my kind of religion.
Let's talk about religion.
Yes.
The Lord.
You guys are all rolling really
Lord.
well. Make a religion check. 9. All right, so you're like looking down. You see again. There's this massive surplus of this happiness energy just kind of spilling out. It appears, as the festival goes and people lean more into this the festive spirit, that cloud of energy will continue to grow. And so that is the observation you make with that religion check, and you pop and turn into confetti, and you begin falling all over the crowd. And then because you're part cartoon, you just collect yourself back.
Yeah, I just fart around like Wayne Knight in Space Jam.
And then you see Pickles and Alonzo land right behind you guys, and as if they were there the whole time. The big distraction kind of comes to an end, and you see Pickles. You see Alonzo's still just somewhat gobsmacked by what she saw, but it appears they have reached the top and are now back. I'm going to switch back over to the other map.
When the crowd starts to disperse, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so good, that's great. So as soon as everyone goes away, I go, you guys!
They're like, oh yes, let us go catch the fish, and they all start rushing to like a fishing exposition. There's like a bunch of people. I'll catch the biggest one, haha! And they all just, everybody's off to like have fun because there's so many fun things to do. While you guys are dealing with, some heavier stuff.
The end of the fucking world. You guys. Okay, so it looks like the mono tree is still okay. The big ass motherfucking tree is still good, but that light is coming in hot, and there are soldiers on the other side of the gate. But it looks like they are camping out, and so because they are camping out,
big time.
Wow.
We got to so they are doing it, but I was trying to think of maybe there seems to be a magical barrier that makes you stupid before for a few moments. So I think maybe we could get through it with the flame, because the flame is what opens the door. So if we can find a way to a part of the barrier that is not by the door, we could just kind of sneak our way through.
What?
Like,
Wow.
Sneak our way through, man. Come on, what you been?
yeah. Dickie's just like right there, like he's like and Dickie's like, what?
The 7 wisdom.
Yeah, I'm strapping on my "Let's do this" pants. Like I'm like, yeah.
So again, it's like.
He's just got the flame. Oh shit, the flame's right there.
It's been there the whole time.
I mean, I want to let us up to that. Let us up to not breaking my knees when I landed from coming down from this tower.
Woohoo!
You don't even have joints.
You don't know that.
Do you have knees? Well, snakes don't really have parts, but if I had to guess, I'd say it was its knee.
Okay, so maybe the first thing first is that we take care of your brother, Slapshot, or whatever the fuck his name is.
PCs.
He laughs like Biggles always.
Slapstick.
I knew that was a risk.
But shouldn't we take care of him first? So the
Dick, yeah.
I want a Josh. Now that he knows that it's a thing.
All right, we're allowed our secondary Josh. Go ahead and give me a Josh check. It's a pure charisma.
It's pure charisma? Okay, we don't do D20s anymore. It's all different.
Oh wait, that's right. It was a D20. No, give me a D20. That's right. You remembered and I was wrong.
I didn't want to argue it.
Institute state of Josh. Again, mood is high. Yes, he's solid. That's a solid Josh. You see, as Dickens' confetti bomb, he's been listening this whole time, but he's still piecing himself back together, and the crowd disperses. You see people just like joyously, like little children, like ha 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 ha, running around. You see a group of about like 15 of them just like running to the shoreline and having a good time. And you just see all these like little kids of all these different races in this happy little kingdom having the best day of their life. And it's like a little holiday spirit, and it's infectious as that energy that Dickens Pickens is keenly aware of starts, being ever present in the streets as this festival starts really coming to its fruition. You see Pickles as everybody's in good spirits, including, if you'll notice this I'm sorry, just if we're not on the map. This house here, I don't know why. I think I smoked a little and then I saw this. I will never unsee how much this little house looks like it's got eyes and a mouth. It looks hella high. It looks like that meme with where it's like my house and the house is all high. I'm so sorry. But when I was thinking about everybody laughing, and then you're having a good time, and the kids, and then you look over and the house next to you is like,
Like, what's the name of that guy in the last season? Did he become an architect? The guy who was like this?
Oh, God.
Kamal.
Kamal, yes.
It's good to see
you.
you.
Become an architect and now he just builds houses in the weirdest spots ever. Like,
he's like, it's a mimic and attacks you. I hit it in plain sight.
The end.
No, but yes, Pickles, you see the energy of Josh is all around as you start tapping into the happy energy that rolls around.
I like to think that I used that Josh to get into talking with, being like, yeah, all right, I'm joshing, we're having a good time.
Yeah, it's good time. Everybody feels pretty good about all this bad information. You broke it really well, the good state of Josh. And you guys kind of sit there. You see everybody's a little optimistic with a little more knowledge about kind of what's going on. However, it's like, okay, so the torch definitely, you would think if this light of the Green Lady's fire opens some of that protection, perhaps you could get some people through. How many, you don't know. The one torch, how strong that could be. The fire itself that opens the whole gate will be coming in a procession as part of the festival. So if you were to want to use that in its stead, just let me know about that, because that would require some...
I didn't see a procession.
It hasn't started yet. So remember, you're still the festival starts, and then when the sun is setting, the green fire will be brought along. There's a procession all the way coming to the gate.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Pre-session.
Well, yeah, I think I just was expecting.
I'm sorry. You also looked. Yes.
I would see if I was no, those motherfuckers got swallowed up by the blight, baby. But
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, they are. I'm sorry. That fire is coming from Ashbury, so it's on your side. It's on Sativon's side. You would have seen that too. That was bad on my form. I just assumed you looked forward. As you turn around and go back down, you do see again that kind of carriages and horses, and people are coming from far and wide. It's the biggest concert of all time as all of Sativon comes. And the fire of the Green Lady that ever burns from Ashbury, is moving down the road. It'll take a while to get there, but then you do know where it would be. It would be on that road on the way. So, and it would have to cross this wooden bridge here on the map. Is the last thing, and then it would go into the clearing, and once it gets to about that's where all the offerings are made, and then when the green light washes on the gate, it allows it to open.
Okay. So
the house is so what do you want to do, guys?
Yeah, so what do you want to do, guys? Yeah.
Well, if we got a couple hours before the festival, you were saying we'd find ourselves a clown?
Does that sound like something you are prepared to do, Dickens?
Oh, yeah. I'm putting on clown war paint.
All right, so how do you guys want to go about doing this? So Alonza, you have her dagger. Do you want her to kind of stay chill, or do you want her to go work with Yvonne and we and potentially keep looking for alternative routes beyond the gate if there are any? Or what do you guys want to do with your NPCs? You also have Cedric right now, who again is frustratingly ignorant to many things because he had his mind wiped.
She's super skilled, right? She's a world-class hunter.
Yes.
We can't afford to leave her behind. Let's just try to make her look different, and then she can help us find him.
Do you have a disguise kit or Digby's right tool for the job if you wanted to spend a little time? It does take time, but if somebody has a disguise kit, you could use it. If you don't, you could use whatever means you have around you, or there is also I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought entirely. There was a message in chat, and I just went bloop.
Well, then this whole time with Cedric, I have been just like, I've just been like touching his face and petting his hair and like just being so sweet. And it's mainly just because I'm gonna like whisper at some point, she did not choose you.
You finally get him.
She did not choose you.
Well, and then I like to take him aside and
then like, oh, fine.
and like, Cedric and I were never anything, but like I've become such a different person. I like
You have a short
basically
haircut now.
make up with him and like, I think it's really cool how we've been spending all this time together
Yes,
over
it
the
was
summer.
wonderful.
But
Oh,
like,
yes,
maybe we don't do that anymore.
You don't, and you wouldn't like to no longer.
No, it's okay.
See, I thought things were going pretty well. We spent a lot of time, lots of.
You sure think a lot.
That's it. My mother always said that would be my downfall. Well, Amaryllis, I apologize if I have frustrated you, as it seems I have, and I like your new haircut. It is.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, quite work appropriate.
No, not frustrated. You have other worries right now, sweetie. It's okay.
Yes. Yes. You see, he's still kind of like, again, he's like still kind of dealing with like, what's going on in my head right now? Like some of these threads don't add up, right? He's a little confused. But yes, he's like, I understand. Perhaps I should meet with the Path of the Sky and they could try and help me.
Work on you for a little bit. I think that's a really good thing. Yeah.
He's like, well, Digby. And he kind of like walks over and he gives Digby a little pat on the shoulder and he's like, I guess she's yours now, huh? and he goes and he like tries to climb out, but there's no ladder. And he's like, can someone help me?
Can we all climb out and leave him in there?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, yes, no, of course, I should help you up first, and then you'll reach down and let me out. Here, allow me. And he starts giving boostsies to everybody. He's like, yes, of course, yes. Why throw a ladder now?
You,
Down.
Cedric, you're such a good guy. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
bye, Amaryllis. Can we start with still friends?
Guys,
We'll be right back.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna make sure this is a little deeper. Just to make sure.
And you see the house looks over at you guys, and he's like, that's pretty good, guys.
Thanks, guys.
House has joined them. And you laugh, and the house laughs, and the crowd laughs. So Dickens, you're kind of sitting there in this moment, as you guys have finally gotten Cedric away. It's not so like annoying, and you can actually think. It's freaking Cedric. So you're looking around, and Dickens, as you start to kind of again feel that you were trying to attune to this golden energy before to draw it in with you, you start kind of like seeing it wash around. It's starting to fill the streets in the area, and there's this moment of reason that kind of strikes you as you realize that like this gathering of energy, if your brother is able to convert it, it seems like his entire goal is built around channeling whatever happiness is created from this festival to do whatever his dark deed is. Now, he's in league with Kysyntia, so perhaps call to him or use that energy to bring him here and have him devour the entire world. So in this moment, though, you see that as beautiful as this energy that flows around that comes from the pure happiness, you start sensing just through your own mind and your connection to your brother through your bloodlines, and that laughter of Kysyntius, I shall see you soon, the shadow eyes on the horizon that fed upon your home world and destroyed it, leaving your mother Amora to create this barrier that is now gone, leaving the world of Ganjaria vulnerable. You see this energy growing around, and finally you hear, as you look over to the wizard's tower, on set upon the lake where Slapsticks once stood, and he has reappeared once more, standing there in his Harlequin outfit. He no longer has the Harlequin hat on, and he has no longer covered his face. His face is exactly the same as yours, Dickens, but grayed out. Instead of the chromatic colors, it is all shades of black, white, and gray. He has a permanent smile that's like in the clown makeup on his face, but he is not smiling. And so it sits in this kind of stark juxtaposition of his face as you see his fingers kind of like start whirling around as he stands on the top of the wizard's tower. Suddenly you look down and you notice that little group of children, the 12 children that was running along fishing on the shoreline, they now sit in a boat that has just recently crossed across the waters to the island where the wizard's tower stands. You see their laughter, their joy as that energy begins bubbling out of the top of them as they run around playing tag and throwing frogs at each other. And then you see Slapstick starts pulling puppet strings of energy from these children as they start running inside the wizard's tower. And that's where we're going to pick it up for the finale, guys!
We're gonna pick it up at the finale with kids throwing frogs at each other.
With kids throwing frogs at each other the way Sativon intended. Holy crap, guys.
Wow.
Damn.
All right. All right.
Kids be throwing frogs.
The stage is set. The stage is set. The THC is attempting to find a way to bypass the opening, potentially using the light itself or perhaps just Gary's torch. Slapsticks is consuming the energy present at the festival for whatever his dark deed is, and you all have quite a few pieces in play and all the things in between. So, guys, it's going to be a big one. We are calling it out. We're going to be dark for a couple weeks. If you weren't with us at the beginning, we got a couple weeks off. I'm up in New York doing a gig, and it just didn't work out, and I don't want to give you guys a subpar product. So we will be back for the finale chapter of Chapter 1, Sesh 20, to resolve this opening festival ceremony. I got to tell you, even I have no idea what is actually going to happen at this thing, but it is going to be epic, guys. We have the Grey Jester Slapsticks, Dickens' brother, working with Cynthius. We've got Alonzo Quinfowl of the Silent Order. This stuff is happening, guys, and we got to make some.
What's going on?
There's some shit, baby.
Shit going on.
There's some shit, baby.
Happening.
What about these?
Shit going on.
What about these guys? Best cast in the fucking land.
Come
Best people
on.
to play D&D. Honestly, guys, shit, get out of here. Shaping.
Best of the land.
No, I felt bad. I felt bad. I lore dumped so much in the first half, but it's
No, we
like,
needed it.
okay, all right. As long as I have your forgiveness. Okay. I love you guys. No, hang with us, guys. 10-4 will be when our finale is. Please help us if you can. We're trying to get the word out all over the place. Just keep an eye out. There'll be stuff and ways to help. Check out the Discord. All our social medias will be popping. We want to end this first chapter here with a bang, with the goal of getting all these pretty faces in a studio together where we can push each other, where we can push each other's shoulders and slap hands like friends and give each other predator handshakes and all of that. So. Guys, I am so freaking excited to take this thing where we are headed. It's going to be one hell of a festival, I can tell you that. And it's probably going to be a little bit of a longer sesh because we are going to be resolving these things. So thank you guys so much for hanging with us. We love you guys. This story from sesh chapter 0 through, it's a prologue all the way to now. It's just like, oh, what a gift this has been. Thank you guys for everything you do. Thanks, Buds, for all you've done to help make this thing continue to kick so much ass. We will be back in 2 weeks in all of our furious and righteous glory. But we do have us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it. Maybe you haven't. But we like to take a lighter, like this electric green one, like the one we use in Twitch chat. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Lighters up. Thank you guys so much for playing that sweet, sweet D&D with us. We'll see you on 10-4 for what will be a spectacular finale.
That's big 10-4.
10-4, good buddy.
That's Texas size 10-4 there, buddy.
It's a 10-4 on 10-4.
Over now.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.